Last month, I took a train to go to West Bengal. There on the train, a strange woman sat next to me. As soon as we were about to cross Begunkodar station, she asked me to shut the windows. I did as she asked. After we crossed the station, I asked why. That's when she told me her story. 40 years ago, Begunkodar's faith changed forever. A single spirit was considered so wicked that it forced the authorities to shut the station down. People said the railway could fight bandits, floods, and even accidents. But this was something else. When the chief minister finally decided to reopen the station after decades, the old railway pilots close to their retirements touched their forehead with their palms in dismay. They had survived long enough without being cursed again, and they did not want to spend their last working years under the same fear. It was at this moment of reopening that Neshma was recruited as the new night duty station master for Begunkodar's freshly remodeled station. She was young, eager, proud to be given responsibility. Before she could even make her way there, her peers warned her quietly. Don't take your parents anywhere near that part of the district. Neshma laughed it off, mocking their superstition. But the seed had been planted. Because everyone knew the tale of the running lady. Everyone knew the whispers. They said she roamed the stations at night, that she danced, that she giggled like a child. They also said no one had ever truly seen her running. The few who claimed they had did not live long enough to tell what it looked like. On the day of the inauguration, the crowd cheered as the chief minister flagged off the first train at 1 in the afternoon. Speeches were given, garlands were exchanged, cameras flashed. By the time the CM's car drove away, the hot April sun pressed down on the station like a punishment. The blazing fireball above destroyed the heavy air, turning it into a wavering haze. The steel tracks burned with a glare so bright it hurt the eyes. The ballast stones on the ground were chalk white instead of grey. Too white, unnaturally so, as if they had been scrubbed off their memory. Neshma adjusted her cap and walked along the yellow line of platform 1. She had already explored the premises the day before, so the layout was familiar. But still, the feeling that someone's eyes were on her crawled through her back. The station was almost empty now. She could hear only the cicadas screaming in the heat. She headed toward the new station master cabin. Unlike the older models where cabins were hidden away at the far end of the station, this one stood proudly at the center, modern and bright. She knocked the cabin door once. No answer. She pushed the door open. The icy blast of air conditioner slapped her face. The contrast was violent. Her blood had been boiling under the sun, and now her teeth almost shattered. The room itself gleamed. Everything was updated. Screens, consoles, the new digital logging system. The government wanted the railways to go digital, to ease all that was old, to silence superstition with progress. But on the desk beside the control panel lay a book. An ordinary logbook. Its pages yellowed, its spine cracked. She flipped it open. The very first entry stopped her cold. Kolkata passenger, 1 p.m. Departed. Woman not around. Woman not around. Her eyes lingered. Why would someone record such a thing? Already her thoughts were clouded with the running lady's legend. The story she had laughed at now felt closer, sticky, like cobwebs she could not peel off. Her chest tightened. She remembered every whispered warning. That's when her eyes went to the large digital screen above the console. The Kolkata passenger had indeed departed, yet the display still showed it waiting. Not far from the station. She frowned, leaned closer, tried connecting to the loco pilot. Silence. Just dead, humming silence. She walked back into the furnace of the afternoon, squinting against the sunlight. She strained her eyes to the curve of the track. Yes, there it was, the last bogie still visible. She walked to the platform's edge, step after slow step. Just then, the train jolted, wheels grinding and slowly pulling away, railing into the distance. She sighed with relief, but then her eyes fell on the 2 shadows on the railway track. One was hers, and the other messy hair, long fingers, belonging to no visible body. Her heart began hammering against her ribs. She glanced around. The platform was empty. Not a single soul in sight. Yet, the shadows danced alongside hers. It twirled its hands. It bent its limbs in play. Her throat went dry. "The running lady," she murmured. The second shadow began circling her in joy, darting ahead, running back and teasing her. Her knees weakened. Suddenly she wanted to run. And before she could decide, her legs took control. She bolted, screaming. Her eyes locked on the ground. on the two shadows chasing each other along the rails. Her breath broke, her chest burned. Yet she could not stop. It was as if her legs belonged to someone else. Panic clawed her lungs, and then ahead, another shadow appeared, larger. It rushed toward her. A hand gripped her shoulder. She screamed so loud that it seemed to split the air, collapsing onto the platform. It was a man, just a man, in his early 30s, face calm, kind eyes. His presence felt solid, reassuring, as if he had stepped into her panic at just the right moment. He reached down to help her up from the platform floor. Neshma's words spilled out, broken, breathless, about the shadows, the chase, the fear that had gripped her legs. He listened patiently, saying nothing, only nodding now and then as they walked toward the cabin. She noticed faintly that something about him was off. His shirt was too old-fashioned, his trousers cut decades out of style. Yet his gentle smile, his steady voice, made her ignore it.
You should not think about it. She's just a legend. Besides, the heat makes us see things.
He said softly. There was such warmth in his tone, such care, that she felt for the first time since morning less alone, almost as if he were a companion. She looked at the cabin door and opened it, relief swelling in her chest. But then she turned to introduce him to the day duty station master, and he was gone. Only the day master remained, looking at her curiously. That night, however, nothing strange occurred. The work was smooth, almost peaceful. Neshma felt the thrill at her first night duty. She made friends with Ravi, a young cleaning boy, his forehead always shiny with sweat, but his eyes bright. 3 months passed. She had almost forgotten everything about that afternoon. She loved her job more than anything. She logged trains diligently into the digital system, though the old logbook still remained beside her. Sometimes, in the column marked Women's Status, she would leave it blank. One night she logged Ranchi passenger, 2 a.m., departed. But on the screen the train lingered again. She tried calling the pilot. Silence. A memory of the afternoon crawled back. Ravi, she shouted. The boy came running, breath ragged, eyes wide with terror. Master, master, he cried. His whole shirt was drenched in sweat. Lady, she was there. She was standing there at the end of the platform too. She was dancing and then she chased me. Tears streamed down his face. Neshma's blood ran cold. She steadied him with water, stroked his hair, though inside her own, fear grew. Still she dared to step outside. From the cabin, she had the advantage of seeing both the ends of the station. She scanned platform number 2. Nothing. Only the waiting train curving in the dark. Then she returned. Ravi was curled on the floor, hugging his knees, shivering like a leaf. She comforted him as best as she could. Rumors of Begunkodar had only worsened in recent months. 3-day duty station masters had already been transferred one after the other. People said the loudspeakers would announce arrivals and departures on its own during the day. But strangely, nights always seem smoother. Until now. As dawn broke, the radio hissed to life.
Are we clear to leave?
The pilot's voice asked suddenly. Nishma jumped, grabbing the receiver.
Yes. Didn't I already inform you? No clearance received.
She stared at the logbook. In the column for women's status, she placed a question mark tonight. The next night, she sat preparing for the 2 a.m. passenger. That's when she heard it. A giggle. Light, feminine, curling like smoke, peering through the cabin window. Nishma's breath caught. She stepped out of the cabin, and there she was, a woman in white, dirty clothes, hair tangled and filthy, drool dripping from her lips. Her eyes were wrong. She had vertical cuts on her eyes. Her skin rotted in patches, dark veins crawling. She growled low. Nishma's chest squeezed. Thoughts of dying smothered her mind. The woman advanced. One step, then another, speed building, until it looked as if she would leap. And then the loudspeaker blared the announcement of Ranchi passengers' arrival. Nishma spun. No one was near the console. When she turned back, the woman was gone. Her knees nearly gave out. She caught her chest trembling. That night, for the first time, she logged women found and around. After that night, time itself began breaking. Every night she remembered arriving at the station. But after 2 a.m., her memories turned into fragments, gaps. She would see the woman once, sometimes on the track, sometimes on the footbridge, sometimes on the platform. And after that, nothing. Yet by morning, her duties were always completed perfectly. Announcements, logging, signals, all in order. It was as though someone else was working through her. Tired of all these shenanigans, she placed her phone camera in the cabin, recording herself through the night. In the morning, she watched, and her jaw dropped. All her work was being done by the man she had seen that first afternoon. The one who vanished. He moved with perfect precision, announcing trains, flagging, communicating with pilots. He was a station master. Her stomach knotted. Who was he? And why was he here? The next day, she set the camera outside the cabin, facing platform 2 and the tracks. Again her memory broke. But when she reviewed the footage, her heart nearly stopped. The running lady. She began by walking on platform 2, singing, giggling. She lingered at the footbridge, waiting for long. Then she sprinted at the end of platform 1. She chased shadows, circled back, dancing before the cabin door, trying to spook the station master. Neshma nearly dropped the camera when the lady directly looked into the camera. The running lady then stood between the rails. And finally, when the 2 a.m. train arrived, she ran with it. Her speed matching the engine's wheels, her body blurred with impossible force. Neshma's vision swam. She realized what had been happening. The man, the phantom station master, had been protecting her, distracting her, erasing her memory each time so she would never witness the lady running. Because those who saw her run never lived to tell. But now Neshma had seen it. She had watched it with her own eyes. Her heart beat wildly, painfully. Sweat drenched her collar. Words stumbled from her lips. As she staggered out of the cabin, the day staff rushed for her aid. She collapsed in their arms. By the time the doctors arrived, it was too late. Cardiac arrest, they said. The news spread like fire. People shook their heads. Begunkodar has never been kind to its station masters, they said. 40 years ago, another master had died of the same faith, from the same spirit. Now history had repeated itself. The running lady had claimed another one, and the station once again was left with shadows on the tracks. You see, kids, some spirits are simply wicked. But there's nothing to fear, because with every bad spirit, there is a guardian spirit too. Unless you're the unlucky one.